Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house, and today I'm in the house with two spectacular ones. I've got a couple of Shirogorov Custom Division F3. This is the F3-NS and this is the F3-B that I've got right over here in the house. It's very hard to see these two fellas next to each other because they are probably the most sought after custom divisions knives at the moment, I think, and they are really expensive, so very hard to find, very expensive, sought after. Everybody likes them, everybody wants them, they're fantastic. That's gonna be hard to find them. So I just want to show you guys these two beauties next to each other because I'm going to do a quick comparison review just to show you the little differences between these two fellas. Probably my two favorite Shiros. I don't know, I love them all, but these two they have a special place. So beside all the classic custom division features, which I'm just gonna skip, I'm just gonna point out the differences, right? So F3 is the liner lock version of the F95, let's say. So it's the same outline, different, of course, blade shape. There's, of course, different locking mechanism, different clip and everything. But anyways, F3 is the liner lock of the Shirogorov family, and F95, the Hati, are the same size frame locks. You get Neon, which is smaller size, and you get the 111, which is the bigger size. These two are the mid-size, and these are the liner locks. This is a bolster liner lock, so it has a bolster made of titanium and carbon fiber lightning strike set of scales. This guy has full titanium scales. There's no bolsters, as you can see. This is 2018, the bolster, and the NS, I believe, is 2021. In fact, you see, like from show side right away, you see just a little change. They increased the size of the pivot screw, as you can see, and they decreased the size of the pivot collar because they couldn't be doing like a collar this big on this newer version. And on the handle, actually, they did the opposite. The screw on the F3 and S on the right is smaller than the one on the left, which is the older version. And this is done because on the back you see that this smaller screw is more accessible with a screwdriver, with the tool, without being able to scratch the clip on this side. And that's like a little improvement they did, like reducing the diameter of the screw, because in this case you have to be really careful when you take this screw apart, otherwise you're gonna risk to just scratch this side of the clip. And check my maintenance video if you want to know how to take this guy apart. Okay, so that's one. So the hardware changed, the pivot collar changed. If you check, I mean, the flipper tab, it's pretty much unchanged. It's thinner, yeah, because the stock thickness of the F3-B is 3.5 millimeters, whereas the stock of the F3-NS is 4 millimeters. So the B is more slicey. Look at that, you see? It's half a millimeter, but still, it's you can detect that when you cut, I mean. The thickness is the same. So if you check, for example, side by side, let me do maybe like this, from this perspective, you're gonna see that the thickness is exactly the same. You just have thicker liners, you see? So, of course, you have different show side because scales and bolsters and just only scales here, but both are sharing like some just like ridiculous milling going on. So I mean, they are on par for that, 100%. The flipper tab is decorated with this little cutout. They are different cutouts for sure. On the back, you see that they both have a landing area for your finger. The spacer are a little bit different. Of course, you see the spacer on the right, it's zirc. The one on the left is titanium. And the F3 and S on the left has some machining lines between the grooves of the spacer, whereas this is just flush. We have just you know, 3 against 4 grooves for these two fellas. The Also the lanyard has a little bit of a different the lanyard hole, I mean, is a little bit different of a design. Pretty much the same area is available, but as you can see right at the end, the NS on the left has a centering backspacer, whereas the F3-B has a more normal, regular, just backspacer. The clip are the same. There's just a little bit of a difference in this sweeping line, in this chamfer. It's a little bit more pronounced on the NS than on the B, but it's pretty similar. It's a little bit different on the top, as you can see, a little bit wider on the NS, and you see middling lines right over here in the, wider on the B and thinner on the NS. And they are both sharing the internal cutout for the lock bar, as you can see from this perspective right over here. And yeah, I mean, the jimping also, they appear to be a little bit different. You see, a little bit wider for the NS and a little bit shorter right over here. You get 4 grooves like in the spacer up against 3 right over here. So it's just, you know, little differences. The milling, of course, is different. If we check the blade, we are going to notice some other differences. Besides the fact that this is Dama steel Vinland and this is just S90V steel, this guy has a very, very fine laser pattern going on. So just crank up that 4K, please, and look at this. How about that? This is just like some Vinland Dama steel, as I was saying, pattern etched right over here. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, the F3-B, sorry, is sporting a cutout in the blade, which is a huge plus because this is gonna allow you to deploy the blade in several ways. Like beside the flipper tab, you can do obviously like a index finger, you can do like a middle finger, you can do like a thumb deployment, so it's more versatile, more fidgety, and honestly more cool. I mean, the cutout in the blade is undeniably a cool feature for sure. From the sound perspective, they do sound very similar. This is a little bit lower pitch, this is a little bit higher noise. When you close them, very, very similar. But when you deploy them, deeper F3-B, a little bit higher F3 and S, both gorgeously sounding knives, very well appreciate the acoustics. Also, let's check the weight, because there is a little bit of weight difference. Which one do you think is going to be more heavy? This is the F3-B, so let's do it like so. So F3-B is going to be 4.79, and this fella over here is going to be 5.25. So surprisingly, the bolster one is lighter than the full tie. I mean, it makes sense because you have carbon fiber and you have titanium, but I was thinking, you know, the Zirk backspacer is gonna be heavier than the titanium, the collars, you know, but then you think, okay, you have a cutout, okay, thinner stock, okay, because the liners are fully skeletonized in both cases. So this is amazing. This is very, very light knife, considering what is going on in the construction. So, I mean, these are two of the best made knives on the planet to date. They are fantastically built. Probably my favorite pair for the Shirogorov Custom Division lineup are on the table right now, and I really like them. I am very, very happy to own these two fellas, and I am enjoying them a lot. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned.